Dokkanners? Welcome back to Zunrami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In today's video, we are checking out another team to take into the legendary Goku event, GT Edition. Now, before I said that once I finished doing the category missions, I was going to go back and start doing some runs with other teams that people either wouldn't think of or just some other unorthodox teams, just to add a little bit of challenge to it and to hopefully ultimately give people more options when it comes to these events, because of course it is pretty challenging if you don't have the appropriate units. For this run, we are doing Space Traveling Warriors with Universe 11. Now, going into this, you're probably thinking those two tech Judens are gonna get you killed on the second to last stage, and you know what? You are completely wrong. It wasn't even a situation where I got by the skin of my teeth. I got by very well, and it was because of his active skill. So I actually did some pretty insane Dokkanning on this run, but I will admit, the fundamental thing that going into this was that one of my two rotations had to be sorted out right off the bat. So what I mean by that is, going over the team, we've got the Tech LR Jiren, we've got the Int Topo, the one who leads Universe 11. Then we've got the physical free-to-play Casserole, I think we say Casserole. We've got the free-to-play, so 3 free-to-plays on this team. We got the Casserole, we got the Kakunsa, and the Rosie. Those are the dynamic duo that a lot of people have mentioned when they talk about alternates on their team builds, or even just the ones that they used in general. And then, of course, the STR Topo, the EZA God support, one of the best supports in the game, especially because of that tanking passive, very crucial in the survival of this event. But, like I said, the rotations, that was key. So going into this, you couldn't waste time figuring out your rotations. They had to at least have one of the two in place. So you had to have the Int Topo with the physical Casserole, because the two together are really, really, really good. The physical Casserole, as you can see here with the super attack, which by the way I love, is a defensive stack permanently. So we have 3 stacking units on this team, so obviously they have to be on the main rotation. So when he's paired up with that Int Top, feels so weird saying that, you actually bring out the full potential of the Topo. I'm trying to throw in some regular pronunciations because people don't like always me using the Japanese one, so there you go. We're going to switch between the Japanese version and global. If you don't know who I'm referencing, don't worry about it. The Int Topo, he is a good support because he provides key +3 attack and defense plus 30% for all Universe 11 allies. He also has a base passive of attack and defense plus 110, then an additional attack and defense plus 110 when there are 3 or more Universe 11 category allies on the team. We have everyone on the team on Universe 11 except for Kakunsa and Rosie, which means 5 units. So his passive is fully realized. And then, get this, guards all attacks when there is another Universe 11 category ally attacking in the same turn. So basically, he functions kind of like how you would use the AGL free-to-play Cooler alongside the Int free-to-play Frieza. So when those two are together, the Cooler raises defense infinitely, and the Frieza, he does stack attack, but his primary function is guarding all damage and then tanking 50%. Unfortunately here, the Topo does not have the 50% damage reduction, but he's got overwhelming numbers, so that kind of makes up for it. Obviously it's not the same, and it will be noted that at a few points, I wish that he did have the same type of tanking numbers as the Frieza, but obviously it's just not the case. But these two together, I cannot say that I came up with this myself. Obviously, it's a pretty easy thing to think about, but like, when I was considering Space Traveling Warriors early on, this idea was thrown to me by Goresh. So shout out to Goresh for kind of getting this in my mind about Universe 11. Pairing up this guy with the Int Topo is actually a really, really good way to establish one rotation. And early on, we got lucky. So there is a little bit of luck involved here, but what's funny is that the luck primarily depends on the beginning, not the end. If you are able to get one of your 2 rotations going in the beginning, you then only have to recalibrate your other rotation, which will take a couple of turns, and then boom, you're off to the races. And that also helps because early on, if you get hit with a super attack at the beginning before you get to stack, which happened to me, or other unfortunate things like that, you're going to have to use some of your items to kind of bounce back and then stabilize and then move forward, which puts you at a tremendous disadvantage when you get to the end because most of your items are most likely going to be needed on the second to last stage. Not even the final one, and not the STR Grade Ape one, but the second to last one with the Int Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The Int Super Saiyan 4 Goku is the most dangerous level on this team because you've got 2 tech units who have no discernible tanking. They only have high numbers. So the Tech LR Judin has attack and defense plus 200%. That's all that they get. They don't get any more than that. I will say, though, that my LR is max links, and the friend unit had pretty much all of his links maxed out, I think, except for a couple. So links, I guess, did play a difference. Actually, a tremendous difference. I shouldn't say I guess. It definitely did. So the links definitely factored in. So if you guys are going to be running this sort of a team, you gotta have some numbers on your units. You gotta have some meat on those units in the form of rainbows, in the form of links. I will say on this team, the only units that were max links was my STR Topo and my Tech LR Judin. And then the friend unit was close to it. Everybody else, level 1 links, level 2, level 3, mediocre stuff. Basically, I've never even tried to level... Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. Rosie and Kakunsa are actually on Peppy Gals, and I have them on my daily events. So here's now... Let me drop a little lesson for you guys in the art of Dokkaning responsibly. For those of you who tend to shrug off the daily missions, this is why you shouldn't be doing it. This is one of the many reasons why. If you throw on a bunch of Peppy Gals who you might find yourself using on certain events, and you use those units on those daily events every single day, over time you will be slowly accumulating those links. Looking now, I'm actually very surprised to realize just how much links these guys have. Level 8 on my Kakunsa, level 4s, level 5s, level 6s across the board. And then for the Rosie, looking at it now, got some 5s, 4s, and 6s. So those Peppy Gal daily missions actually came in handy without even realizing it. Looking at the physical Casserole, he is a defensive stacker. That's all he does. He also provides a minor support to the Universe 11 category. And while all these things in a vacuum kind of seem still too insurmountable for this team to overcome, all of those supports really come in handy. And that's why I'm able to beat this event. It's basically tanking by committee. Everybody's able to cover everybody else, both through their links as well as their passives. There are certain rotations where I've got the physical Casserole, the STR Topo, and the Int Topo all together, all of whom provide key support, stat support across the board. And they all have links, like, I think, Justice, Heroes of Justice, and things like that. So it was a very, very synergy-heavy team. And because I had the Rosie and the Kakunsa going early, I was able to get these two together, and I had quite a few Dokkan attacks. If I remember correctly, I think this entire Dokkan event, or this entire Legendary Goku event, took 35 turns, 34 turns. So it was a pretty hefty run, but it was so well calculated, and I, obviously got lucky with some attack distributions, but every single item was used. Here, I do skip the Dokkan attack because I don't want to do unnecessary damage. Early on, we want to stack as much as we can because we're going to need as much firepower as possible going into the final fight. Also, that AGL Kakunsa is a bit of a flight risk in the final stage because, of course, AGL's weak to tech, and the way that she stacks is a little different in turn. Well, it's not totally different, but she raises attack in her super attack. She raises defense in her passive. So what that means is that her super attack can be potentially repeated multiple times in a turn. Her passive boost cannot be. So her passive defensive boosts came once every turn, whereas her attack came once or twice every turn. So it was essential to have my units stack early and often and have as many turns happen before we got to those levels so that Rosie, Kakunsa, all of these stackers could be as reliable as they ended up being on the final few stages. So it was really, really nice to see. I should also mention, this was my first try. I don't use that term lightly because I have mentioned in the past when I do things, I have tried to do first tries, I failed. Like, for example, that power absorption, that was going to be a no item first try. All of that went down the drain because of bad luck. This was a first try completion. And what's great about that is I was actually planning on sending a message out to my Discord, which, by the way, you can click on the link in the description. We have team builders on standby in the Discord to help you out building teams for these types of events. Very kind, very supportive people. I was ready to post a request in the Discord asking for my fellow toons to help me out with some units. I was going to ask for LR Judin, and I was also going to ask for some STR Bojacks, because if this team failed and I couldn't find any other friend LR Jirins, I was then going to run Bojack with this exact same team. So the only difference that there was going to be was that the leader skill was going to be with the Bojack. So double Bojacks, they would always be in support. They would always be stacking defense, but it is pretty dangerous because they lack some links. And of course, if those additionals don't kick in, certain turns you might just die. And the deciding, I think, at the end, when I really knew that this was actually going to be a victory, was the fact that the sheer numbers that these guys were producing and giving to the Tech LR made me understand that, you know what? They are going to win by committee. It's not going to be any sort of solo tanking endeavor. It's really going to be because of all the supports, because of all the links, we're actually going to get through this. And this might be my favorite run. I know that I said before Corrupted Body and Mind was my favorite, and it was because it was a very different approach in the way I had to, you know, go at each turn. But this one, knowing that these units were facing extinction on the second to last stage, I still went in, and they literally just joined forces. Like, that's all it was. It was a team getting their stuff together in the final hour and joining forces and overwhelming with just team synergy. It was so great. I did use all of my items. I think the final item was used on the last turn. So here now, we're at the physical stage. Super Saiyan 3, going pretty well. Haven't used an item yet, I don't think. I've kind of just been looking at my units and trying to give you some information about it. But normally at this point, I like to give you guys suggestions for alternate team builds. This is an alternate team build. So if you want to see my primary Space Traveling Warriors video, I'll provide a link in the description. When I actually beat the category mission, I did so with a Bojack team that had 3 other free-to-plays. Actually, this is pretty cool. Both videos that I've made for Space Traveling Warriors have included free-to-play warriors, 3 in kind, so that's pretty neat. So right here, we hit him with a super attack with the Jiren. We take 246,000, which is pretty bad. And at this point, I think this is where I have to use my first item. But given that he did super at the end, the chances of us getting hit early on were not going to be that high. And that's why I put the int Topo first, because I knew that he would guard all damage, and because there's no chance of a super attack happening then, he's safest right there. So at this point, I didn't use an item, and I was preying on my calculations, my estimates coming through. I got lucky, obviously, because I didn't get hit with a super, because if I did, this probably would have been over. I don't think my Kasuro at this point is even able to tank, even with his defensive stacking. But we've got 2 lines of support this turn, so that really stacked up. That's why I did a pretty decent amount of damage there on that critical hit with a defensive stacker who is only causing supreme damage. Supreme damage, that's it. He is a free-to-play from the Universe Survival Saga Dokkan event, or story event. No, Universe 11 story event? Whatever it is, I forgot. But we managed to get by. And now we're on the final phase of this level, and we don't even have to worry about wasting an item. So that was key. We got by a couple of turns because we were just able to pay attention to the attack placements, and we were able to pick up some decent orbage. And we pushed, I think, 4 Dokkan attacks, or maybe 4. I think we pushed 4 Dokkan attacks in this entire event. 4? No. 4 or 3. Because we're about to get one now on the Grade 8 phase. No, we're not. We're about to get one on the... Yeah, so we got 3. We got 3. We actually... I don't think we use a Dokkan attack during this phase, which is crazy. But knowing, obviously, what this guy's capable of, you know, I'm thinking to myself, this is probably going to be the first point in which we use an item. So I decide to use a Whis. I gotta play it safe. Even though we can guard all damage, and we've got a nice defensive unit there, the chances of us getting killed are pretty high. Because there's no guarantee that even if we guard the damage, we're actually going to be able to survive it, and then withstand whatever remaining attacks he has. So I make a decision and I go for a Whis. Kind of regretted it right there, because obviously no super attack. So it was a bit of a bummer, but in hindsight, this was probably the better move, because I would rather waste the item in hindsight than waste the item, or waste the item in terms of not using it, if that makes sense. You probably would have done the same thing. You probably would have done the same thing. Even if you had 700,000 defense on that physical casserole, I'm pretty sure you would take upwards of like 100,000 at least on the super attack from that STR gradient. So it was the right play. I stand by it. And here, we still have the effects of the Whis. So now I'm at a decision point because I've got Kakunsa and Rosie together and they're not ready to be separated. When they're separated, they don't get the passive stacking ability. One unit raises defense through the super attack, one unit raises attack through the super attack. When they're together, they raise the other stat line on their passive. So here, I use the active skill. I use the active skill because I am not about to let these two girls get separated. I need this guy to withstand whatever damage is coming his way. So maximizing his stats alongside the Whis should keep him alive. Using that active skill, he gains attack and defense plus 30%, reduces the enemy's attack and defense plus 30%, and stuns. The stun didn't work, the attack reduction didn't work, but the defense reduction did, which was nice. But that extra attack and defense plus 30% was the key thing. That was the only line of support that I had for this turn, other than maybe a few links with the Kakunsa. So I had to do that so that I could ensure that this guy could survive, and let's see what happens. 85, 26, 90, 90,000. 90,000 thanks to enhanced stats from his active skill and Whis. And now we're out of items. I don't want to use another one for this turn or for this phase because I need the rest of it. So now I'm kind of thinking, okay, he just supered attacked, so he's probably not going to super in the first slot. But if he did, I'd rather have the guard guy there. I don't want to have my Kasuro fall out of rotation, so I got to keep him in the middle with only one attack. All right, we got to pray for some luck here. First attack, guarded. Attack and defense plus 220% for that int Topo. No super, no super. Now I'm panicking. Oh god. No. The worst is happening. This run is over. Good defensive stack. Can I get another one? Nope. Oh, I need a super. Now I'm fine because STR Topo has the ability to tank for 40% of the damage when he is under 7% health. And this is one of those turns that I mentioned. Everybody is supporting everybody else. We are getting a defense minus 70% on the enemy. We are gaining attack and defense plus 40% and key plus 1 from the STR guy. We are getting key plus 1 attack and defense plus 30% from the physical free-to-play. We are also getting key plus 3 attack and defense plus 30% from the int Topo. So those three together covered each other so well. That is tanking by committee. Here, we're about to win, so I figured there's no point in wasting an active skill and wasting an item. If we don't kill this turn, we deserve to lose. We just have to win this. Thankfully, he can't dodge. Man, I gotta say, this STR Grade Ape, in terms of the attack animations, is so great. Seeing how janky he looks in all of these different settings is really funny. And she does it again. This is the free-to-play. And then Juren takes him out onto the second to last phase, the penultimate stage. Looking pretty good so far. Only one item wasted. But here's where things get dicey. Now, we gotta move our muscle off rotation. That is obviously priority number one. But the issue is, how long can we hold out with this luck, where all of the attacks are happening early, and maybe one or two hits are happening at the end? And then I go with int Topo. And I gotta just let it be. Tech Juren is at the end. And he's got 245,000 defense, so I'm kind of thinking to myself, you know what, we can survive this. We've got double the support with the int and the physical, and we only have to get hit once, so we should be fine as long as the super attack doesn't happen at the end. And I'm thinking, okay, alright. He didn't super there. Don't panic. There's no need to panic. Do as much damage as you possibly can. We're not skipping these orbs. Did I just say orbs? What do you call those things? Buttons? Dials? How much is a free-to-play Supreme Damager going to do on the Legendary Goku event? 1.3 mil. That's not bad for a defensive stacker. And we get hit with a super. Fantastic. I'm so relieved. Whew. We take like 10,000. Perfect. Perfect. And now we're fine. The rest of the turn, we're good. Even at the end, he's not going to take a whole lot of damage. 245k against type disadvantage with all of this support. Please. We're fine. 61 for the int Topo. Watch how much tech Juren takes here after he hits him with a super. 2.6 mil! 55. Double digits. No items, nothing. So a couple of things happened on that turn. Number one, it made me realize just how powerful that LR Jiren is and how useful he's going to be on the final phase. And then I started thinking, how is this going to work? Because I'm going to have to break formation. The formation that I've been showboating on the entire way throughout this video, I will then have to break up that rotation to then bring in the heavy hitters to get this done maybe a little bit faster. Because the other thing is you're racing against the clock in terms of your items. How long are you going to be able to hold out against this Goku when you have a couple items that last a couple of turns and you have to probably use them in rapid fire succession? How much longer can you go? Probably not too long. So now I'm kind of thinking of the exit strategy. As we're going through this, I'm trying to think ahead for the tech stage. I'm going to have to bring back those tech LRs because right now those both are in the flex spot alongside the STR Topo. So I need to figure out a way to bring them back in and probably move out the Kakunsa. But the Kakunsa has actually been stacking really well, and separating her from Rosie is going to cause all sorts of problems. So I'm low-key panicking about the final stage, not this one, because now I kind of have this under control. The fact that the LR Jiren can tank so well made me feel so good. But here, this is bad, because we're getting attacks distributed all across the board. Even with the supports, we're still in trouble. We're probably going to have to use an item here, and I do have an active skill.
Trust is for the weak. Strength is everything.
With those numbers, he goes up to 300,000 defense, 500,000 attack, which is pretty great. But his defense is still scary. We've got double support, 300,000 defense. Do I use an item? Nope. Nope. Took a chance. Took a chance. Let's see if it pays off. Spoiler alert, it does. Alright. Good defense. Good defense. Alright, alright, alright. Can we get an additional? There we go. Atta boy. Good damage, good damage. And are we gonna get hit with a super? Oh, we do not. Uh-oh. Oh no. No items, 300,000 defense, and no shot. We're dead. We're taking double digits here, which is great. Oh, can we get through this? No super, no super, no super. I quit. And this is where I knew we were gonna win this. That's where I knew. I took about 220,000 damage. 220, 240, something like that. We only have about 450,000 total health. I took maybe about 70% damage with no items and just the support of the Universe 11 units. That's when I knew that this game was within reach. We're halfway done on the int phase. I'm still in shock at the fact that I survived that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? We can actually make it through. He just supered at the end, so he's probably not going to be supering early, but I do need to keep a higher defensive unit in the front. I do have to get a little bit lucky that he doesn't super my Jiren at the end, because there is one attack at the end. Hopefully he attacks early enough, or he just skips until the next turn. But that was the shocker. That was the thing that made me understand Universe 11 by committee is stupidly strong. I mean, we knew this from Super Battle Roads of past. I've done the super, I think the extreme version of the super class Super Battle Road. So I already knew that these guys by committee are really, really strong. But I had no idea that on this stage, at this level, given how much damage he's been doing to teams in the past, breaking hearts, didn't think he could do it. Didn't think he had it in him. So now I'm really, really happy. And now we can heal. We got a good bunch of defense on that casserole, so he healed from like 3 orbs, which is crazy. And now I just got to build up the Dokkan gauge. Dokkan gauge has to come back up. That's our only way to heal outside of items. Once the items run out, that's all we're going to have left if we get to that point. And we also need some extra firepower because at the end, the only unit that has type advantage on this team is the Int Topo. He is not going to be doing a lot of damage. He is a support primarily, and I gave him mainly additional because I wanted him to be lowering the attack and lowering the defense on enemies, primarily in Super Battle Road. But also, I'm just team additional most of the time. So if I had given more critical, probably that would have been a pretty consistent choice. But like I said, I am more additional when it comes to units that do things like lowering attack and whatnot, because lowering attack multiple times essentially accomplishes the same level of effect that a damage-reducing item would use, which is why attacking multiple times with a nerfing ability is so good. So I don't regret keeping him at all additional, because that is what he is meant to do. And now, we're close to the end, so we gotta figure out, okay, am I gonna move out the Kakunsa now, or am I gonna move out the Kakunsa later? I'm probably gonna have to wait a couple more turns because we're still not doing enough damage where this sort of amount of health would be resolved in one turn. So probably the next time that these Peppy Gals come back, I will actually rotate out the Kakunsa. And that is gonna be scary. So like I said, both raise their other stats in their passive only when they're together. So when you break those up, they're only left with whatever stats they've accumulated up to this point, and you gotta hope that that's enough. And on the final stage, since it's tech, you gotta make sure that your AGL unit won't get you killed, especially since I've had some issues in the past with that. We got a nice stacking here, a double attack raise from the Kakunsa, which also kind of worried me because if we're gonna be doing a lot of damage now, then are we gonna keep her on rotation? Or maybe move her up? We took another hefty bit of damage there. We're now below, what, 70%, 80%? I'm just really glad that the tech didn't miss. I was really expecting him to miss a lot against the int one, but he didn't. He did some work. Look at that! 23,000 per hit, no items. Guys, tech LR Juden. He's good. Alright, we do some healing. We do some Dokkan gauge boosting. And we don't use an item. I don't think. Actually, you know what? I think we do. I think we do. Because you know, it's probably not the worst thing in the world to skip this one, but you never know if that super attack and then a couple attacks on the int Topo in the middle might just be a little bit too much for him. So that's why I did it. Don't regret it. Stand by it. I would do it again because this guy's not going to get you killed, but he might. Like I said, this was one of those times where I was hoping that he was more like the int free-to-play Frieza. He tanks because he guards all attacks and then reduces damage received by 50%. Those two together, ridiculous. In a Super Battle Road setting, though, this guy's ability to lower attack is kind of like doing that, like I mentioned. Here, you can't lower his attack. And thankfully, he didn't super. So, it was a bit of a waste in terms of the defense portion of the item, but we did gain 70% health back, or however much it was. So that was nice. And we just did enough damage to now where he's at the final level of the last bar. We can probably rotate out the Kakunsa. But we're not there yet because Jiren isn't here. So, now I'm looking and I'm realizing, what happens if I break them up? Attack plus 22% at the start of each turn, and heals, or seals, we don't care about sealing. So I'm thinking, alright, do I send her out now, or maybe, I don't know. Would I rather Rosie be stuck with Topo at this point? I don't know. So let's just see what we're going to do. Okay, we're just going to attack. We're just going to attack, and we're going to keep the girls together for, I guess, another rotation. And then on the final phase, we'll figure it out. I still got items. That was my main rationale for that. I have items because I got lucky early on, and these two have been stacking since turn 1. Also really lucky that we got the super here on the Kakunsa, because I think her defense is at like 800,000 at this point? 700,000? So she's good to go. She's fine. Oh! Chill, let me get one more stack. Oh. Dang it. Alright. Final phase. Tech. Full power. Super Saiyan 4. Son Goku. So like I said, the final phase is interesting. We need to bring it to him on the offensive end. I gotta have my rotations change up. We got Int Topo. He's gotta be here at all times. He provides support. He guards. He is our main MVP on the defensive end. I gotta have the muscle alongside him, so that's where I started to put the Tech LR Jiren. And the casserole at this point is going to be phased out. His defense is really good, so he's fine. He doesn't need to be stacking a whole lot more to keep up. It's not like Goku's going to be stacking a whole lot. Actually, I think he does in his super attack. I think he does stack attack. I don't remember. Either that or he lowers your defense. Something. He does something to the stats. But there's our first hit. And look at that. We did 778,000 damage. We don't have crits primarily. We have additionals. With crits, you've probably done maybe like 1.5 million. Which would add up in the long run, but that's why you have your Tech LR Jiren. If you're running this type of team, you're asking for trouble, so you might as well make the most out of those units. Bring them on, let them do their thing. Look at how much damage we just did. So now the question is, can we survive and can we get lucky enough to keep those guys on rotation and not take lethal damage? I mean, this guy's going nowhere. He's not taking damage. Alright, so here's the super. How much are we going to take? It's going to be a lot. Still going to be a lot. 200k. So now we are below half. Or I think we're just about at half. Yeah. We're at just about at half health. And I'm thinking, okay, so if he, at that level of defense, is taking 200,000, then I got to get Kakunsa out of here as quickly as possible. Problem is, I can't do that. Look at the rotation. Look at what's happening at the end. But he just supered. So I know that the beginning of the turn is going to be safe. So now I'm trying to decide, do I actually go through with this and have the Kakunsa stay on rotation and I move out the Rosie? Looks like I do that, because we have a Dokkan attack coming in, and I want the Tech LR Judith to be the one dishing the blow, because he can't dodge it, and it's going to do a lot of damage. So whatever damage we end up sustaining this turn, we will probably get it all back. And I don't remember if this guy had a high crit counter on his hidden potential. I think this ended up not being a critical, but let's see. Also, did I think I made this one. I got all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nodes, that's it. I said orbs before. Nodes. Nodes. See, I'm smart. Guys, I'm smart. I told you, after the corroded body of mind, whatever team, I got a lot better as a Dokkaner on these challenging events. First try, baby. 1.3 mil. Oof. That's the Dokkan attack. 1.3 mil. Oof. Could have used a crit there. Would have been nice, but we don't have it. But we did get a double stack from the Kakunsa, which is good. More muscle. She's not going to do much, though, but, you know, pretty decent. 200,000. Not bad. She's doing more than the physical casserole. Here we go with the free-to-play. 1.4. And then I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have rotated her out. That's going to hurt. That's going to suck. Because now I'm not going to have her for like 6 turns. She's going to come back in 3 turns, but she's going to be on the wrong rotation. So then what do? Do I rotate her out again? And be without one of my best units for this phase? I don't know. And I had to consider some luck here. He hasn't super for a little while, so he's very likely to super at the beginning, but I just had to take a chance because there's no way I'm putting him in the middle. That is a kill box. What is that, like 6 attacks? No way. I'd rather have the int unit take it. And then I tried to decide, okay, is there any possible conceivable way that we can actually get another Dokkan attack? Maybe. So let me get those red orbs down there and get the orb cycle going more. And I missed. That didn't feel good. That did not feel good. Let me tell you. How much are we doing here? 800,000. Pretty much the same amount. 18k in the additional. And we're getting hit. Guarding all attacks. This will probably, I think like 40,000 is how much we take. 90,000. So look at that. He's got type advantage. He's got ridiculous supports and links on this turn. When he also guards, and he takes 90,000. That is what we are facing. So I don't blame a lot of you for not ever wanting to try out this team, because it is probably a suicide run. But I gotta tell you, man, the supports, this might be a fun attempt. You should try this a couple of times, because you can actually get some really, really cool runs together. I thought at this point that if we're going to be taking that much damage on a guard attack, we're probably not going to survive this, and if we don't, I might still upload the video, because this is a pretty gnarly video, just to see how far Universe 11 was able to go on the first try. And obviously here, Casserole has to go first, because it just got too much damage coming in, and I'm trying to decide, okay, do I use an item alongside this, because this seems like a scary turn. 2 flight risks on the same turn is never a good thing. So we combined all of this stuff with the Whis. Probably could have been a mistake in hindsight, but like I said, 2 flight risks on a turn, I don't care how many attacks they're dealing with, even if it's very little. All it takes is 1 attack. You've got 2 targets to worry about, not 1 like normal rotations would be. So I'm okay with having wasted that item there. Because in hindsight, you know, I don't think he actually supers here. He doesn't super. Because if he had, I don't think we would have survived this without the item. 2.2 mil, good start though. Alright, no super on the Judith. So now I'm thinking, oh god. Kakunsa. Don't die. Dodge. Do you have a built-in dodge? Did I give you one? Oh. Yep, wasted the Whis. And now we got, look at this rotation. We got ints everywhere. But I gotta move Kakunsa back out, or Rosie back out, because I have to have her join Kakunsa. So I have Topo stay on rotation with the Judith. Having those 2 together with the supports makes for a more powerful hit in the middle, which makes this event go faster. And then he dodges, which annoys me, but I got the additional self-fight. And I was brave enough to move out Rosie again. Wow. Kudos to me. 700k once again. He supers. Oh, thank God. Thank God. We've got the Whis on the tail end active. So we only have one item left. We've got half health left on this Goku. With one item that only boosts your defense. 50% defense boosting is all we're getting for 2 more turns. And that's it. So can we actually outmuscle this guy? This additional was insane. So clutch. 1.3 mil, that was a big boost for me. Because that was literally right as I was thinking, do we even have enough juice to get through this? We might have to go a couple of turns where we have no items and we just have to get lucky with the attack distributions. Alright, here. No items. No reason to use one, because even if we do take damage, we probably will survive it. We've got 2 lines of support. We've got Tech LR Juden dealing good amount of damage in the middle, and I gotta pray for some RNG. Kind of hoping that we get hit in the first slot. Do we? I actually don't remember this one. Let's see what happens. And he dodged. Well, it's not like he's gonna do a lot. I noticed a couple of times, though, when he dodged, the Universe 11 unit stepped up again. Thank you, guys. 100k. All right, big money. Big money. Oh, the damage, man. Look at that tanking. That crisp, clean tanking. That's good, but it also means that we might get hit right here. And that's bad. How much damage are we doing? Crit? Nope, 1.5 mil. We're getting work done, though. Okay. All right. No super attack. Very good. Double digits on those hits. Thank you. Are we going to get some additionals from this guy? There's one. Ooh, 500k. Not bad. 28k. Oof, 28k. He's better as a tank when you're below 70%. We're not there yet. And, yeah. Scary time. Scary time. What am I going to do? What am I going to do here? We use Aider. We have 90% health left. We use Aider. We are going all in. So Tech LR Juden is going to go first. I'm going to have Topo in the middle. I'm banking on him using a super in the middle. Not on the front, not on the back, because either one of those would be catastrophic because we are out of items. We are in no man's land in terms of the Dokkan gauge, so we have no chance of that happening. This is truly the end game. Can we get it done? I'm a little scared. Good damage, 750. Wish you could do more. Oh, thank you. Good additional. Okay. 2 bars left. We got this. Come on, super, super, super. Oh, don't super, please. Just wait till next turn. Oh, okay. One more turn of enhanced defense. Gotta make the most out of it. We gotta have LR Juden do his thing. So we're gonna rotate out the casserole, and we're just gonna have the int and the tech do their thing first. Now, who goes first? Probably Rosie, so we can push the Dokkan gauge even though there's no chance. Just seemed like the right thing to do. Also, I wanted to link up the LR Juden with the Universe 11 unit. So this is it. The final trick. Can we do this? Oh, yes! Yes! Tank that, baby! Yeah! 51! 1 million? Damn! Here we go. Don't dodge. Don't dodge. Oh. Crit. Hit him. Oh, no! Oh. Don't super, don't super, don't super. Okay, okay. Alright. Any chance we could get a crit from you, buddy? Can you give us the win? He's so close. Okay. Not even 100k. Fantastic. Are you gonna hit me with a super? Just make it quick. Oh, he's not. We can do this. Okay, who's going first? Oh, there's no way I'm putting Juden first. We are putting Topo. We are going to win by committee. The Universe 11 Pride Troopers for the win. Get him. For justice! And there you have it. Space Traveling Warriors, no Bojacks, no Friezas, no Coolers, nada. Universe 11, Universe Survival Saga. That is how you get it done! Yeah! Took a picture, obviously. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, do you guys agree with this team build? Do you feel like there was another unit that was better suited for the rotations? Do you think that there was anything that I missed? I am very impressed with how well this team performed together, and I would love to hear from you guys if you tried it out. So let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future. And click the notification bell so that you know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.